Have sellers lost control of GBPUSD? Is it time to consider buying this market? That's what we're talking about in today's video. We'll talk key levels and targets and also the latest on the DXY. Now, if you guys do want my help with your trading, click on the link at the top of this video, and that's going to give you 90% off lifetime access to the real-time trading group in Discord and also the course. So in the group, you are going to get daily videos, exclusive setups, and you're also going to see my trades in real time. So see the link in the description of this video if you're on YouTube, or alternatively, if you're on the website, click on that join VIP link. All right, so looking at the pound, guys, we do have the market, coming off of this resistance area still right around 1.28. And this is essentially what we've seen here from this market going all the way back really to 2022. And ever since 2023, we have seen the market coiling within this consolidation pattern. So as I've said multiple times recently, I do think that over the coming months, we are likely to see some very aggressive trends develop for the major currency pairs. And that's simply because we have seen these markets coil like this for the past year and a half. And the longer a market coils like this, the more explosive the resulting breakout is likely to be. With that said, though, we are still dealing with range-bound conditions, so that's also important to understand. Now, looking at the daily time frame. All right, so today we saw a aggressive rally here from the pound, same thing with the euro, and the market is coming into this trend line that we've talked about from 2021, all right, that currently comes in right around 1.278 or so. So given this, is it time to start, getting bullish on the pound? And the first thing that I'm going to say about this, guys, even though we are seeing the market above 1.2685, so this is the pivot that we've talked about here, right? Even though we are seeing the market, potentially closing above this level today, although we do still have 3 hours left, that's important to understand because a lot can happen in 3 hours. But if the market does reclaim this, even though we're seeing it above this level, we are still seeing the pound below that 2021 trend line. Okay, so this, in my opinion, is not the right time to be getting bullish on a market because you would be getting bullish or buying right into a multi-year resistance level. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that this is a short either, just because we are seeing the market look, relatively strong today, potentially closing back above 126.85, and also very sideways here over the past few weeks, really the past couple of months. So this, in my opinion, unless you were able to short, right up here at this level, which we've talked about this trend line here, so there's a very good chance you were able to, unless you were to do something like that, or potentially, buy down here in this area on the intraday reclaim at 126.85, then I really don't see a whole lot to do here just because the market is very sideways. Now, with that said, I will tell you guys that I am still short the pound as I have been since this period back here. Okay, so I shared this with VIP members in real time. My stop loss was up here in this area, so I stayed in through this candle. And I am looking for lower down here at this trend line just above 1.24. Now, it's unclear if we get that, right? Because, clearly the market is looking relatively bullish today. But again, it is coming off of that resistance area. And even if we do see this level here reclaimed, okay, on the daily chart, it doesn't necessarily tell me that the market is bullish because, again, when you look at these two trend lines, when you look at the range that has developed here over the last, few months and even years, this is what we've seen from the pound. Now, it's like I've said in recent videos, it doesn't mean that this continues and then we see the market come down here, okay? But as long as the market is below this level up here, then that is exactly what I'm looking for. And also the fact that my short position, guys, was never underwater. Even with today's rally, I was shorting the market up here in this area. So even with today's rally, I mean, sure, it sucks to look at this and see, what was 170 pips in profit come back to nearly break even. But I was perfectly fine sitting in this because that's just my style of trading, guys. I'm a swing trader on the higher time frames. I don't mind holding through stuff like this because in my experience, what happens a lot of times is you see traders get in through areas like this or maybe this up here. They hold, they see this right here, okay? They see this portion, they panic, they get out of that trade, and then, over the coming weeks, they see the market, run 200 or 300 pips lower, and then they're kicking themselves. Now, I'm not saying that will happen because I don't know where this market is going. Nobody does. But the fact here is that I am perfectly fine just staying in this trade right now, as long as the market is below here. Now, if we see the pound come up here and start to really pressure this area, okay, then that could be enough for me to get out because that's telling me that there is a decent chance we do see a breakout or at least a sweep of some of these highs up here. And that is not something that I necessarily want to sit through, okay? But it would have to look, relatively bullish for me to get out because what you'll notice is back here, we saw a very similar situation down here at this support level, right? We had this first low, we had an aggressive rally here, and the market returned all the way back down here toward this area, only to, from there, go on a very aggressive rally. So this is kind of similar, only the inverse of that, right? We saw a rather aggressive move lower here. We saw a move back up here toward this level. So this could be just a case where we get some consolidation up here, only for the market to continue lower. But we'll have to wait and see. Like I said, I don't know where this market's going, but I am still short here. I'm comfortable holding that position because this was all part of the plan. Okay, so looking at the DXY, guys, this is what it's going to come down to as well. Now, I will be the first to tell you that this retest here today, that this right here is the key level. It has to hold just above 105. This horizontal area through here is becoming, in my opinion, kind of less significant. And even though I wouldn't want to see the DXY close below 105.5, which, again, there's several hours left in today's session, and it's currently trading at 105.37. So this could easily close back above this area. It really wouldn't take a whole lot from current levels for that to happen. But the reason I say that this might not be as significant, even though we did see a decent bounce here earlier this week, is the fact that last week's candle, this candle right here, closed, right around that area, right around 105.5. We got a rally. Now we're back below it, but we're still above the bottom of this channel. For me, guys, and it's the same thing with the pound level, the 1.3685 level on the pound. The same thing goes here with the DXY, where yes, I do think that this horizontal area is significant. However, a break back below this is not enough for me to turn bearish on the dollar. And the reason for that is because, at least for me, the level I'm watching here is the bottom of this channel. Okay, so we saw, the low down here at the end of 2023. We saw this low right here, this one. We got the failed breakdown, right? So this failed breakdown here, reclaim up here, new support. Okay, so new support here, new support again. So this, in my opinion, is the one that has to hold. Now, will it? We don't know, right? We're going to have to wait and see. We're going to have to give this time to see if the DXY can hold above this area and rally from here. Ideally, I want to see it stay above 105.50, but that is not a deal breaker. All right, so again, that's not enough to turn me bearish on the dollar. It would have to break below this area down here on the higher time frames in order for me to turn bearish on the dollar. All right, so there's still a lot of time left in today's session. Like I said, this could close either at current levels, or again, it could easily close back above 105.50. There's really not a whole lot that the DXY would have to do here in order to go from here up to this level into the close with several hours left. So we'll see how this goes here for the DXY. Obviously, this moves inversely to the pound, so it is something to watch, especially when we look at the bottom of this channel here, this must-hold area right around 105.15 or so. All right, so flipping back here to the pound, I really think that that is going to be the key level that has to hold up for the DXY, and it just so happens, too, that this is the must-hold level for sellers here for the pound, right? So must-hold level for sellers here on the pound. Flip back to the DXY, you can see that we have the must-hold level for bulls, okay? So we are seeing the market test some critical levels today, but so far, no confirmed breakouts, right? So to answer this question here today, as far as, have sellers lost control, I wouldn't necessarily say that. I do think that this is something to pay attention to over the coming days, because if we were to see the pound break out from this and start closing up here on the higher time frames, then that could indicate that sellers have indeed lost control. But right now, in my opinion, I see this as a potential sweep of some of these candles back here, right? So we had this candle, especially back here, that had no retrace following the move lower, and we did see the market sweep that today. So as of right now, guys, I do see this as a sweep of that candle, sweep of that imbalance, and a retest of that 2021 trend line. I wouldn't necessarily say that sellers have lost control, just because the market is still holding below this area right around 1.278. Now, I do want to see, though, if this is going to have follow through, I do want to see the pound get below 1.2685 this week. And the reason that's going to be significant, and I'll leave you guys with this, is on the weekly time frame here, you can see where we have had a couple of weekly closes below this area, okay? So if we were to see this week close above 126.85, then that could start to be a little bit bullish here for the pound, just because it would mean that the market is now above 126.85 on a weekly closing basis as well. But again, this 2021 trend line up here is the must-hold level for sellers, right around 1.278. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon for notifications. Don't forget to smash the like button and join us in VIP. Save 90% on lifetime access to the group and also the course. See the link in the description of this video, or if you're on the website, click on that Join VIP link. Trade well out there, and I will talk to you again tomorrow.